everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 269. Giggity. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What's going on, Ann?
And then just getting the mic in front of me because I always seem to forget and then I sound like I'm far away.
You are a consummate professional if you're nothing else.
Put "un" in front of that and you're absolutely correct.
Well, I'm as you can see, I'm here on location, if you will. Actually, in Brooklyn this week, so weekend. So nice. You got to check out some of the stuff. This is my father's basement. He's got this place loaded up.
Yeah, I see.
Awesome.
Loaded is the operative word. Looking over your right shoulder.
What? Oh, what's it? Oh, yeah. Well, it's big fan of Jack Daniels.
I see.
And the only thing, really, those bottles are the only thing that survived this basement during Hurricane Sandy.
Well, yes, because I'm sure they were sealed properly.
They sure were. But everything else got destroyed.
Yeah,
but
we lost everything in the basement, but not the booze.
All my games gone. Jack Daniels, good to go. And still drinkable.
That's okay. I think since then you've replenished your collection and then some.
Don't even get me started. You know what? I'm not even going to waste any time. Let's just get into the and then some, shall we?
Yes.
So a couple things that finally arrived. Took a while, especially because I always love now, like if I order something, whether it's through limited run or like one of these pre-orders or the Kickstarters that I do, when they finally ship, for some reason, they always get stuck somewhere for like a week. And it's usually somewhere in Jersey. So I don't know what's going on with that sorting facility.
Well, it's Jersey.
And for some reason, this is from limited run. They're like one of the last few companies to still use DHL locally, which I always find
funny.
Wow.
DHL.
Yeah, honestly, DHL I feel like is more international now.
Yeah, they I haven't seen a DHL delivery in a very long
time. Be that as it may, finally shipped Game Boy game Tailgater.
Ooh, very nice.
A Natsumi game. I still have it wrapped. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Sorry,
much better. Much better.
Found the camera.
Very nice.
So, very cool game from limited run. I also picked up one which I left at home, Starhawk, which is a shoot 'em up.
Limited run, your new favorite site.
Yes, they're not bad. You know what? Because they finally, after all of my concerns that I've expressed to them, they finally now do open pre-orders. It's not like we have 12 available.
But let me just interpret this. So what you're really saying is that they have stuff that you really want and you can't get it anywhere else, so you have to order from them.
No, I'm just saying, they've I've accepted their apology and we're good to go.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then
because they apologized.
And then I picked up this other game. They have no idea who I am. I picked this other. 1990. That's where it was from. Okay, a game from Konami, which I just stumbled upon. I'm like, I got to get this. Called Quarth. It's a Famicom game.
I've heard of that game.
And it's only available. Well, it was only available on Famicom, but then it was released on Game Boy. It's basically like the game Quix, QIX.
Yep.
Where you're essentially you build squares and you cut off sections and that's what happens.
Yep.
Here, this is almost like Tetris in the fact that you got these lines coming down and you got to fill up the blocks. And when a full block fills, then it disappears.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So actually this I picked up on eBay. So that was very cool.
Very nice.
And those are my two pickups. And anything for you this week?
I've picked up a lot of things, none of which are video games.
Fair enough. Okay.
No, I'm trying to think.
Is there a doctor joke somewhere in there?
Maybe. Let's see. What? No, I'm trying to think game wise, like what I've really. This week hasn't been much in the gaming world for me. I've been distracted by real life.
There you go.
So
welcome to real life.
Yeah, I don't think I even played anything this week.
Well, I sure haven't, unfortunately.
No,
because my Nintendo Switch is very sick.
Oh, yes, I heard about this. I heard that the Switch is sick.
Yes, I don't think I ever posted the video. I got it because I did take a video, and I don't know if I sent it to you or in the group chat we have with a couple of friends of ours. I took a bit. My Nintendo fan. Sounds like it's going to blow out the back of the Switch. That's how loud it gets. Wow. That's how, as loud as Link is.
He just gets bigger.
What? And Link's getting larger.
It's like my own Audrey 2. One day's just gonna eat me.
Badu. Come back, you don't have a dentist all cut up.
Oh man.
So so my Nintendo Switch, the fan, almost as loud as the fan on my Atari VCS.
Wow. Okay, that's saying a lot.
That's a loud fan. So I was, of course, me being me, I'm thinking, all right, let's see how much a new Switch is. Maybe I'll go with the old OLED because I feel like there's only now time left on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, smarter heads prevailed, i.e. I texted and Anthony responded with this obvious decision. Instead of buying
I'm always the smarter one.
Instead of buying a new system, basically, instead of buying a new system, how about you just send it back to Nintendo? Because the new system is like $300 something. The repair for this is $99 plus tax. So yeah. And you've sent back your Switch before, so you know what the process is.
Yeah, like. I sent back my Switch early because I had that Joy-Con drift right away.
Were you still under warranty for that?
Yeah.
Dang. So they go, when I message them, I do a whole thing. I said, they're like, all right, so when did you purchase a Switch? I'm like, when was the Switch released?
Exactly.
So I'm pretty sure I am out of warranty, which I was, but still.
Well, that happened to me with my Wii U. My Wii U stopped working. Like,
really? I didn't know.
Yeah, like it would turn on, but I wouldn't see anything on the TV.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it wasn't the wires because I tried getting a wire and I did all this type of stuff, and then I finally contacted them and I sent in the Wii U and same thing. I mean, I think they just have a blanket like, oh, it's $99 to fix, and I'm like, okay. And at that point, I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a Wii U anywhere else anyway. So I sent it in and got it fixed, and it works fine.
There you go. Yeah, so I sent it, and shockingly enough, like I dropped it off and like $9 because they sent this whole list of how to pack the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you gave me a UPS label, so I'm going to go to UPS and let them pack it. I thought it was going to be like $25 for them to pack it. It cost like $9. Like,
that's not bad.
So
why didn't you just send your Switch to Dr. Jack?
Because maybe I can keep a new warranty, first of all, even though I trust Jack, don't get me wrong. Or, if for some reason it's unfixable, they can send me a new one. So I could somehow luck out.
That's a very good point. That is true. Because
if they can't fix it, they'll send, well, not a new one, a refurbished one, but still.
But you'll get a working Switch.
Yeah. And I was shocked because I dropped off to.
I think what you're saying in the undertone there is that you don't trust Jack.
No, I do. I would with older systems that are not.
I hope he's listening. I hope he's listening.
I'll text him when we're done. I'm scared of him. No, I do need him to fix probably my Dreamcast soon.
And that's why you're scared of him.
So bottom line, I dropped off like 5 p.m. here out on Long Island, and then I got an email from Nintendo the next day saying, "Yep, we got it." So I was like, "Whoa, I didn't even know where it's shipped to." But bottom line, they got it. They're working on it.
That did not go DHL.
See what happened. No. UPS delivered right away.
Nice.
So so we'll see what happens on that. So I'm out probably a couple of weeks, and I feel bad because I'm almost done with Mega Man 4 because I'm playing on the legacy games.
Did they give you the whole? Did they give you the whole speech that sending the Switch in runs the risk of you losing all of your saves and yada yada?
Well, what's good is I use this thing called the cloud that a lot of people don't like.
I don't know what that is.
And all my saves are in the cloud.
Clouds can't hold things. So
I really have
Except
no
water.
Issues.
Clouds can hold water and nothing else.
For a limited amount of time, they can hold water.
Yes.
So I'm safe with that. I can re-download all the games that's what's great about digital. I can re-download. I took out my memory card, the micro SD card.
Okay, good call.
That's where all my stuff is basically stored.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's the worst case scenario. So,
all right.
I mean, what? Like Nintendo's going to shut down their online services? I mean, come on.
Well, they would never do that. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Have they? You got to be a special kind of crazy to just shut down your online services when people can continue to buy the games that are on there whenever you want.
True, and let's jump into that while it's a hot topic, shall we?
Yes, let's do that. So and I got some news up on that. Yeah, so Nintendo announced that they're going to be closing their Wii U eShop and their 3DS in I don't did they give an exact date? It's March 2023.
2023, yes. At some point this year, they're going to stop taking where you can stop uploading like the gift cards and uploading funds to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then March of 2023 for both those services at the same time, they're going to shut them down.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say no. Thus, the debate again comes up: physical versus digital.
Yep.
But let's just see, is any like information? I don't say stats, but any information on the closure or anything interesting that you saw?
No, nothing really. I mean, it was really just the announcement of it. I mean, there was no real, there wasn't there's no real fanfare to it. But my thing is, the first thing I thought of was, do I finally have to buy a 3DS and pick up games that I'm not, that I should play, since I don't really play handheld. And I will debate that over the next month or so.
Yeah. There really wasn't anything digital exclusive I can think of for the 3DS.
Okay.
There might have been. But
so just really like actual physical games.
Yeah.
Not so much digital.
From what I understand, and I don't have the article in front of me, so forgive me, but I believe Nintendo said even after March of 2023, you'll still be able to like download updates and re-download games you've already purchased.
Right.
So it's not like it's completely going away, but there has been now this new, I don't want to say push, but this new kind of groundswell of people, really going, look, okay, fine. It's all a matter of time. We get it.
Yeah.
Everything comes to an end, and especially digital, you have to store this stuff somewhere, and eventually you need the space. But what's the group we talked about just before?
So there's a news coming out about it. The Video Game History Foundation, which is basically they're a nonprofit that preserves video games. They preserve them. They teach the history of them, that type of stuff.
Great group. In fact, I think when you order from Limited Run, you can always donate like $1 or something like that, or
the Video Game
History Foundation
to them.
Yes. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So they actually came out, released a statement about Nintendo's announcement, and just basically said, hey, you guys have to figure out another way to like when you shut something down, to make games available, because they're saying that there are like roughly 2,000 games that were only released digitally on the 3DS and the Wii U that are now just going to disappear. Because once you can't purchase them anymore, there's no longer access to them, so they're just gone.
Correct.
So, yeah. So the Video Game History Foundation let out a statement and said, "Hey, you know what? You're doing a disservice to the history of video games, not just players, but just the overall history of the video game industry by just deciding we're just going to get rid of these." Granted, I'm sure Nintendo will hold them. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll hold them in the. You remember, like, for those of you who are old enough, Disney's Vault, when they would release a VHS tape where it's like, you can buy Aladdin now. And then after like 4 or 5 months, they'd be like, grab it while you can, because it's going back in the vault, meaning that they were putting it away and you couldn't buy the movie anymore, before everything became
jack up the price. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which up the value and also increased sales. This is kind of like Nintendo's way of doing things, where it's like, okay, all of these games are going to go back into our vault and we may never see them again.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like at one point you have like games like, for example, the go-to to me are the Simpsons game and X-Men. Both those arcade games.
Perfect example.
That were only digital for the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Konami took them down.
Yeah.
So, like, I own them. I don't even know if I could re-download them if I could. But I own them, so I have them digitally, not released physically. But on Nintendo, and on Nintendo's side, though, you're right. There are a lot of games, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them can barely be called games, but still, they've been released. They're only digital. Mm-hmm. But the biggest concern is like how Nintendo built the their virtual console, starting with the Wii, and the way the 3DS and the Wii U took advantage of the virtual consoles were amazing. I definitely bought a lot of games on the virtual console, a lot of Game Boy games down to my 3DS on the virtual console. And that's, I think, one of the biggest concerns that some people are saying, because like, look, why can't you just easily, we have the Nintendo Switch online stuff, which is awesome, but it's still not the virtual console, which had TurboGrafx 16 games, which had arcade games, stuff like that. And I think a lot of people have complaining about that part as well. But also now, and I think I mentioned it last week, like going back to the Wii with WiiWare, like there were some great WiiWare games that will never see the light of day again because the Wii shut down. But now it's like a snowball effect, because now Nintendo is basically giving voice to people who are basically pirating games. And now look, I'm not talking about, again, and we're not talking about, and I've seen it online, pirating games that are available today. Like, no, that's still a no-go. Like, there's a guy sitting in jail for up to 5 years because of that. But these older games that maybe were only available on the virtual console, but now once that goes, they're nowhere to be found. And that's what's going to cause the piracy to go up. Again, and I think it was Jack on a show way back when who said, it kind of makes sense to take the emulation of games that a company's not making money on anymore. That's a different ballgame.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point. Not about pirating games, but just the fact of like you're giving people reason to do it.
Yes,
and frankly, it's like, why would you want to do that? My question to all of these companies are always the same thing anyway. It's like, I never understand the reason why you would take something down for purchase, because you're just leaving potential revenue sitting out there. So,
I get it. I think some of it does have to do with licensing. Look,
licensing is a whole different story. It's like if you're paying a third party license and you don't want to anymore, that's fine. Then it's up to then it becomes up to the third party, right? The third party's then got to take the game and be like, all right, fine. It's not going to be available on the Wii U anymore. I'll take it to Steam. I'll take it to wherever, because the whole idea is that third parties will always want their game available somewhere for purchase. And if Nintendo's concern is that like storing it is costing more money than what they're making off of it, then they're just going to look at the bottom line.
I always equated it to like music rights. Music rights, for some reason, like seem to be the worst rights to uphold, keep. And I can only compare it to one other thing, like old wrestling pay-per-views that they don't have the rights to the music anymore. And then you put in like, what music? What is this? I've never heard this generic song before, but they have no choice. They want to keep putting out the stuff. So they have to use generic music to be able to get around it. And it always, it doesn't taste the same.
No, it doesn't, especially if you're used to the original flavor.
Exactly. Oh. So, but we'll see. Now, also, is this going to push now maybe for these companies like Limited Run, like Strictly Limited Games, that put out physical copies of digital games? Do you think now that we're going to start to see a huge uptick in now more physical releases on probably what either would have been digital only? And I get digital only. It's a lot cheaper to put out a digital only game. I totally understand that. Or you think we're now going to start seeing a lot more of these older games either being re-released digitally or maybe, dare I say, put on physical media?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be inevitable, because I'm sure a lot of these third parties who are losing their space to sell are still going to want them to be available for the public to purchase. From a financial perspective, and just for the fact of a lot of work goes into making a game. So why would you do all the work and then nobody gets to play it? Type of situation. So I do think that we'll see an uptick in these, whichever the third party ones are. Any third party game that's available on these platforms will wind up just going somewhere else. Go ahead. No, ask.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I was going to say, do you think we see Nintendo be like, all right, well, we're getting rid of them over here. here's a new Nintendo Online, Game Boy edition or something like that, where they start making, more because there were a lot of games. There were a lot of third-party games on the Virtual Console that weren't Nintendo. So, it was a different ball. Like the Mega Mans were on there and stuff like that. Some Konami stuff.
Yeah.
But again, maybe we'll see what's come over.
Yeah, I was going to say, but we've seen Mega Man pop up on other consoles because it's Capcom.
No. I meant like under like a Nintendo, like under the Nintendo NES library. That's
no. So, well, it depends on if they want to pay the licensing rights. Because if you look at their online services right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. Almost all of the games online are first party.
Majority.
Yeah.
There's a good number of third, but like there's no Turtles. There's no,
because those cost
about GoldenEye.
Yeah, because those cost a premium. Like GoldenEye, exactly. If GoldenEye shows up on the N64 online, they have to pay for that. So
there's a lot to pay for that, but still, you're right. Yeah. So I think it's something to keep an eye out on. And,
absolutely.
We'll see as time goes on. So.
And we'll see if the Video Game History Foundation actually, makes Nintendo, think about what they're doing and maybe come up with some type of solve. Like, in other words, it's a very easy solution. All the games that were shutting down on the 3DS and Wii U will now be available on the Switch. It's like there's an easy way around it.
It's funny. Someone made a good point that like really the only company to nail this classic content, for lack of a better term, has been Microsoft. Because their backwards capability catalog is ridiculous. Yeah, it's not everything, but it's a good chunk.
And it sounds like Sony is about to catch up on that.
We'll see exactly. That goes.
So yeah, we'll definitely see. We'll keep an eye on. Again, this was just the first announcement from Nintendo. It's a year away. We don't know if they're planning on doing something with these games besides just deleting them. So we'll see what happens.
We shall see. But real fast before we move on to other news or anything like that, I just want to show this off because talking about keeping the classic games, keeping everything like that. The last couple of weeks, especially now that I'm here at my parents' house, the last couple of weeks I was talking about how to try and set my dad up for classic gaming. He has his copy of Silent Service, and he wants to be able to play it. So, and definitely thank everyone who reached out, kind of giving me some heads up and everything about it. So I've opted to go with this bad boy right here.
Ooh.
The Retron 2 HD.
Oh, so you're giving him a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo.
Yes, and a Super Famicom.
Yes, because I can see your dad playing those Japanese games.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In Japanese.
Imagine if he knew Japanese. None of us ever knew that.
Very true.
This is an NES, a Super NES, a Super Famicom all in one. Obviously, you can play Famicom with an adapter. It's Retron. You know how I love Retron. They're great.
Yep.
It comes with an NES controller and a Super NES controller. Their control. If you ever need an extra controller, all right, fine. You can probably have some arguments about their systems. Their controllers are top notch.
Oh,
I highly recommend that. Okay. All right, so I got him that, and so I told you he has Silent Service.
Yes.
So also, and I showed him yesterday. He was he loved it. Like he honestly, we can't. I just got here late yesterday, so we couldn't set it up. But I'm gonna give him a copy of Desert Strike.
Very nice. There it is.
Which he would play often, and then
got to glue down that label.
Yeah, I don't know if I showed this last week or whatever. And then I picked up one of his favorites.
Dr. Mario. Ooh, Inbox.
Very nice.
Yes. Very nice.
Too, right? Not much love to it, which is good.
Yep. Very cool.
So we're gonna try and set that up and see how that goes. So
all right.
Looking forward to it, actually. But I'm excited about that. So that should be interesting. Because then I can start bringing games over.
Exactly. Yeah, now you'll just go to your parents' house and go straight to the room and start playing.
Now it'll be hooked up to the main TV. Now he'll know how it is to just walk in and be like, I'm playing a game.
Nice.
And just take over the TV like he did to me. That's pretty much what I have here. So.
All right. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Like I said, I really don't have any games or anything like that to talk about. I do have a few bits of news that we can discuss.
All right.
So here's the first one that I just found funny. Okay, so By this point, everybody I think should know about the game Wordle. That's just becoming the biggest fad. So much so that the New York Times bought it from the developer for $7 million, and it's only been out. I know, and this game only came out in October. What happened?
A lot of creaking down here. I hear a lot of creaking. Might be the ghost of Christmas past.
It might be. So, and the reason why I bring it up is because someone has made it possible to play Wordle on a Game Boy.
Now, are we talking about like they put the game on a cartridge? Maybe.
Yeah, via a ROM. Via a ROM, a YouTube and Twitter user. He's known for reverse engineering games. So his name is Ghidra Ninja.
Ghidra Ninja.
Ghidra Ninja.
I can't imagine it's hard to reverse engine Wordle.
Yeah, but he managed to get Wordle to run on a Game Boy and on an analog pocket.
Ooh, there we go. I like the sound of that. Yeah, pocket's awesome.
So so the only difference is you can't share it on social media because you're playing it on your handheld, but still playing Wordle on a Game Boy. When you think about it, the game is so simple.
It's straightforward. Exactly.
Yeah, it could very easily work on one of those. So if you want to play Wordle on a Game Boy, go talk to Ghidra Ninja and he'll let you know how.
And Wordle on the Game Boy lets you play more than one game a day.
Exactly. Exactly. Unless he found a way to block it. Right, where it's like, no, you only get one. It is the Highlander, is the daily Highlander of
there can
gaming.
only be one.
There can only be one per day. So man, I'm making a lot of old references for our show.
Yeah, that was a good pull. I like that.
Thank you. Do you remember the NES game Snow Brothers?
I do, because it's funny. Like, it's one of the games we always talk about at Game On.
Really? How come?
Yeah, because it was, it was either a Japanese exclusive, an extremely rare NES, or it was never released on NES and just like a ROM goes around for it.
It was an arcade. It was actually an arcade game.
Originally, yes.
Originally, it was an arcade game, a side-scrolling arcade game. Very cute graphics. You were snowmen that threw snowballs at enemies as you went across the screen. And it was a lot of fun. But it kind of just disappeared. It was a two-player game. There was a sequel for it in '94, but kind of just went by the wayside from then. But now news is coming out that there is a Snow Brothers game coming out later this year on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, sweet. New game or maybe the arcade?
Snow Brothers Special will be a modern interpretation of the original Snow Brothers game.
Hope it's not like the Popeye game. Okay.
So, and just so you know that the Snow Brothers actually had names. Nick and Tom.
Wow. All right.
They didn't go wrong with those names. I know. You would think they would go with like Frosty and
Snowball or something like that.
Yeah, Snowball. But no, the Snow Brothers are Nick and Tom. They are snowmen that wear overalls.
As you do.
As you do. Gotta hide certain snowballs.
You got,
I guess.
Gotta be modest at some point.
Exactly. So so later this year on the Switch, we're getting Snow Brothers Special. I'm actually surprised and kind of excited about it because I remember playing the arcade game and enjoying it. So I would love to give that another try.
That's what's great. A lot of these arcade games are popping up, so that's awesome.
Yep. I'm gonna move on to the movie television front.
Oh, okay.
So first off, we know that Sonic 2 is coming out soon.
Oh, can't wait.
I know, it looks really fun. It looks really fun. But Sega has already made the announcement that Sonic 3 is greenlit and ready to go. So we are going to get a sequel to Sonic 2,
Excellent.
Which is awesome. But then they have also announced that there will be a live action TV show. And it's a spin-off series. It's a live action spin-off series featuring Knuckles.
Wow. See, I heard about this. Yeah, no, I heard about this news, which is awesome.
Mhm.
I didn't realize the Knuckles show was going to be live action. I was wondering what direction they were going to go in.
It's a live action series with Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Which is
Paramount
super fun.
Plus, right?
Yeah, it's going to be on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
great news for Sonic. I mean, to already be greenlit for a third movie before the second one comes out just tells you how much faith they have in the franchise. And to be honest with you, the first one was just so much fun.
First movie was phenomenal.
I was really surprised. And in fact, I brought a friend of mine to see it, and he's not. I play Wii game online. Like Dead by Daylight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's what I would call a new gamer. Like he never played when he was younger. He's older than me. Never played when he was younger. His first console was a PS4.
There you go.
So like he's just learning about gaming. So I took him to the Sonic movie. He's also a huge horror movie fan. So what I'm like,
okay.
I was like, when I told him, I said, I want to go see Sonic. It was the last movie I saw. We saw before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Right. So I was like, okay. I said, I want to go see Sonic. Do you want to go? And he's like, he doesn't know anything about Sonic. So he's like, yeah. He's like, fine, I'll go. And when we went to the movies, and when we walked out, he just looked at me and he's like, that was really fun. That's literally what he said. He's like, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, I was like, I told him too, I was like, to be honest, I really wasn't expecting it to be good. So
you should have been like, you should have seen what Sonic was supposed to look like.
Right, exactly. But
none of this would have happened.
Part of the reason why I brought him was going to be a little bit for revenge, because he dragged me to see the remake of Pet Sematary when I told him I don't want to see it because I knew it was going to be awful. And we saw it, and I turned to him and yelled at him. I said, you owe me $15 or whatever I paid for it. I was like, because this movie sucks. So I was like, fine. I go, I'm taking you to Sonic. I was like, and then of course Sonic was really good. So
revenge, like, bittersweet.
Exactly. So I still owe him a terrible movie in theaters. That was my point there. But Sonic, Sonic 3 already greenlit.
Stoked.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Super Bowl ad?
I did. It's really cool. It was fun.
Oh my God. You get the giant, I mean, no spoiler, it's in the trailer. You get the giant Eggman robot, like at the end of the first. I popped for that. And I can only imagine, and again, I don't know this. This is just a guess on my part. I didn't read anything. I think we get Super Sonic in this. I think we do, because it's about the Chaos Emerald. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's about the Chaos Emerald, so I'm really excited to see what they do with it. Yep. But when I heard about this coming out and them already greenlighting a sequel, one other thing popped in my head, and I go, and I don't know what's going on with them. When is the sequel to Detective Pikachu coming out? Because remember, Detective Pikachu was really good.
If it wasn't for Detective Pikachu, we wouldn't have gotten the design of Sonic. I've said it before on this show. Detective Pikachu shows you can pull the characters straight out of the video game, and it works.
Yeah,
and that's what was awesome about Detective Pikachu. I feel like they are working on a sequel, or at least one's being written. I don't know. I
would hope so, because I thought it was actually really good.
That movie was great.
Yeah, and I think in fact, I want to go back and watch it again. But yeah, I feel like they're leaving money on the table there. But Sega definitely not leaving money on the table. Sonic continuing on. Here's a random property that I was very surprised when I saw the news. And we missed this. This actually was news that came out like about a month ago. And maybe we did talk about it and I'm forgetting. But I don't know if you remember the game American McGee's Alice. It was released on PC.
I remember it. Yeah.
It was we
didn't talk about it.
Yeah. It was a very dark, twisted take on Alice in Wonderland. Because when you read Alice in Wonderland's not a lighthearted story. It's just Disney made it that way. You know,
exactly.
Disney makes every lighthearted story. Every story
they do take some dark stories and turn them around.
Yeah, like Little Mermaid was like, if you want to stay a human, you got to cut this guy's heart out, or else you're going to die.
Completely messed up.
Yeah, it's like crazy stuff. But
101 Dalmatians, they were all put to sleep.
I
never read the book.
I never read the book either. But anyway, so American McGee's Alice, and there were two games: American McGee's Alice, and then Alice Madness Returns, because she goes back to Wonderland. Okay, so really trippy. Definitely, like if you've never played the games, just go on YouTube and watch them, or buy them, because they're really, really weird and twisted, which is fun. But apparently, the franchise has been green lighted to be adapted into a movie or a TV show.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, and it's being created and developed by the voice actor behind Solid Snake, David Hayter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Yeah. So those two, by the way, those two Alice games were like released 11 years apart. Like the first Alice came out in 2000.
Oh, wow.
First Alice came out in 2000. The second one came out in 2011. So David Hayter's gotten a green light to adapt those into a movie or TV show. So I'm curious to see if we actually do get to see this on the big screen or on the small screen. There's no shortness of platforms to release it on.
So. No. Side note: if you want to see a more better version of Alice in Wonderland, yes,
okay, more better.
That's more along the lines of the book. Go watch the made-for-TV movie Alice in Wonderland. Remember when the Jabberwocky came out and that was to be continued? No one went to sleep that night.
Nope, definitely not. Alice in Wonderland is not something to show your kids.
Not that version.
Unless you want to teach them really harsh lessons. Yes. Teach them harsh lessons. Okay. Moving on. Last piece of news that I found. And I sent you and Jack and Rich this link too, because
this was
I thought this was awesome. So there's this little place in Nebraska, I guess. Where
not so little anymore.
Yeah, no, not so little anymore. So this video game store in Nebraska closed in 1994. 27 years later, their entire inventory was uncovered, which revealed like hundreds of sealed games from the 90s.
This is crazy. They just threw them in the back and left them. Apparently.
Yeah, they literally.
It was almost like a fire sale.
Yeah, it was literally like they just left them in the store, walked away from it completely, never turned back. Now they've been.
What's this key for?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some say.
Yeah, it's just really weird. So like, so I guess whoever bought the store or I'm trying to figure out what it was. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. But the bottom line is it's like a bunch of factory sealed games were found. Perfect example, like Mortal Kombat 2, awesome. NBA Jam, Sonic the Hedgehog, X-Men, basically
totally sealed, not touched for 2 decades.
Yeah, totally sealed, not touched. And now they've estimated essentially that the value of everything that they've uncovered is over $1 million.
Oh, because there are some gems in there. I forgot the exact titles, but there are certainly some hard to find.
Well, Chrono Trigger is in there.
Oh, sealed,
like sealed Chrono Trigger. Let me see. TMNT Turtles in Time, Final Fantasy 3. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Castlevania Bloodline, Breath of Fire 2. Then you got like Maddens and FIFAs and stuff like that. Yeah. All of those things they've got sitting in there. Although Chrono Trigger came out later, so but I'm assuming maybe they did. I don't know. That's weird. I guess they grabbed it before it.
Are they lying to us? Maybe
no, they're saying they're investigating it a little bit because of the fact that they're saying like there are games that came out in 95 that they found in there. Maybe they did. Maybe they said they closed in 94 and didn't. I don't know. But
maybe it was just storage or something, or they just left.
Not sure. But the bottom line is
on the bottom of this.
Yeah. The bottom line is like they're looking into it because there are some games in there that were released after 94. Because
nothing can just be released on the internet. Nope. And just be like, this is a fun.
Well, story. But also here's the bottom line. Even if there is some whatever, like some issue with this, there's still brand new sealed games.
Oh, 100% correct.
So it really just comes down to they're going to be it's going to be a lot. It's going to be worth a lot of money. They're going to be auctioning everything off, I guess, a piece at a time or whatever. Like I'm sure Heritage Auctions has already jumped on them and been like,
forget it.
Please let us do it. We'll make a ton off of it because they do that.
I didn't want to think about it. They do.
They really do. So I thought that was a really cool thing. And it also makes me wonder also, like, when you ever see those, what is it called? Like shows like Storage Wars and stuff like that, where it's like, I just want to go find a location, like just do this, where it's like a video game store used to be here that closed in the 90s. Nobody has rented out this space since. I'll take it. And then just
you
go
open
in.
it up, it's all like it's all like towels. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I go in and be like, oh, and then oh yeah, we forgot it was replaced by a towel store afterwards.
Don't. Well,
Gee,
there goes my
thanks.
$900.
What can I do? What can I do with towels? They're not even sealed.
Wait a minute. This is signed by Leonard Nimoy.
Exactly. Sealed towels from the 90s. I don't think I'll get $1 million for that. But anyway, really cool story.
Yes.
Like check it out online. Like every site is basically covered it, which is really cool. And that's all I really have for retro news. No notable retro birthdays this week.
No. Well, that's interesting. In February, everyone's still over the holiday. You know what I mean? Kind of getting over that. The one thing to mention, which I haven't watched yet, but a friend of mine said so far it's really interesting. The Cuphead show dropped on Netflix.
Yes, that is true.
This past Friday. So again, as of this recording, I haven't watched it yet. But my buddy watched like the first couple episodes and said it was fun.
All right,
really fun. So
very cool.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, no, I got to check that out. Recently, actually, I don't know if I brought it up on the show, but recently I went back and finished because for some reason, like Castlevania on Netflix. The last season came out and I just forgot to go watch it. I watched it, I think, last month. Really, really good. It was a really
all right. I go back and watch it. I started to lose a little interest in that season, but I'll go back and
the third
try
season
it again.
So. The third season was I think it was the third season. It was incredibly slow.
Hey, you know what? I find the third season of any TV series, like that's what makes or breaks a series. I don't know why.
Yeah. But no, I thought the fourth season was good. I think they kind of got back to the more action oriented, and like it was and I thought it was a good ending. It was surprising. I was actually surprised with the way they chose to end it.
Sonic shows up
for you. Yes. Sonic shows up and kills Dracula.
Super Sonic takes over.
Super Sonic.
All righty.
But yeah, so that's really it. That's all I got.
All righty.
What do you got?
Then
we done?
I got nothing else. The only other thing is I saw the trailer for the new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Ranger movie, and I don't know how I feel about it. So,
okay. Well,
that's about it.
As somebody who plowed through those games in December for the first time,
there isn't. No, but they do show an NES in it. Like, did you see the trailer?
No.
Okay, so like, long story short, it's a new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Ranger movie coming out, Disney Plus. It's live action. The only way I can explain it, it's like Disney opened up their multiverse in this movie, and they talk about the history of Chip 'n Dale, and they do TV shows, video games, and you see an NES with the cartridges. Like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice.
But then beyond that, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but that's for another time.
All right, fair enough.
Check out the trailer anyway.
Will do.
With that, though, I'm going to actually look to set up this Nintendo here. And where can they find us?
You guys can find us on Facebook.com/Retro Gamers Podcast, on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast, on Twitter at Retro Gamers Pod. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com.
Yes.
And as one final note, Larry, have a very good show next week because I won't be here.
Oh, yes, you will not be here. You will be on assignment, as we will say. That's fine.
That's good enough. Yes, I'm on assignment.
Don't worry. We always think about you when you're not here on the episode. So
hopefully poorly.
No, because God help me, I can never go through the list at the end of the show. So
is that really why I'm here? That's the only reason why I'm here.
I just need you to pre-record that, please, and then we're good to go.
I will throw a pre-record. I'll throw like several different versions, and then you can just pick one you want. I'll give you my really bad Australian accent.
Ooh, okay. When that needs to happen now. All
right.
But it's just as crikey every 5 seconds.
Exactly.
Is that a stingray?
No offense. No offense to any Australians who listen to our show.
We have some Australians, some Aussies who listen.
Yes.
So, all right. And well, good luck with everything next week.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll be here with somebody. And with that, folks, well, I'll catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.
And I won't.